Ube is the new matcha. Not necessarily the next matcha, but definitely something that you can offer in your menu. What are the differences between ube and matcha? If you're looking for something savory, delicious, and definitely a treat, ube is the drink. If you're looking for something healthier and also lovely to look at and delicious as well, then that is matcha. So ube and matcha can go together in your menu. In today's video clip, I'm going to make 3 drinks that will be made using the same way that we use for making matcha. We're going to make classic ube latte, we're going to make ube coconut cream latte, and finally fusion of ube and matcha in one drink. Stick around until the end of this video clip. Before we continue, click that subscribe button. I'm going to use pure ube powder, and I'm going to use a local brand here from Thailand. This is Long Beach. And for my matcha, I'm going to use my own blend here. This is a matcha from Uji, Okumidori cultivar. For those that have access to ube syrup, I'm going to combine ube syrup and ube powder in one drink. And for coconut cream matcha, I'm going to use ready-made coconut cream here. This is also from Thailand. I'm sure many of you know this brand. And finally, for the milk, I'm going to use dairy. To sweeten the drink, I can also use some sugar syrup. This is homemade. If you haven't yet seen the video tutorial on how to make this sugar syrup, do check out the video link above. So let's start with the first drink, which is classic ube latte, the light version. So I'm not going to use sweetened condensed milk and evaporated milk. I'm going to use sugar syrup or ube syrup to sweeten the drink. All the recipes today will be in 16 ounces cups or 500 ml. For those with access to both the powder and the syrup, you can mix this together. The powder gives you the texture, the syrup gives you the smell, and also a little bit more of the flavor of the ube. But if you don't have access to both of this, you can also use only the syrup, or you can also use only the powder. Do check out the video link above, and in that video I showed how to make ube with espresso using either powder or syrup. Okay, so for this I am going to use 2 teaspoons of my ube powder, and as I have said, I'm going to use the process or the ceremonial process using a matcha whisk. So 2 level teaspoons into my bowl. Now this powder can get very thick, so I am going to use a lot of water, hot water, to dissolve this. So I'm going to use my shot glass here to measure 60 ml of hot water to dissolve into my bowl here. I'm using a clear glass so you can't see it. And if you're using a matcha whisk, make sure that you wet the bristles so that it doesn't break easily. The way to mix the ube powder with hot water is not the same as you whisk the matcha. You don't have to do it up and down. What you need to do is probably to massage it or knead it, because the texture of this ube powder is rather thick. Into this, I'm going to add my milk, half of the milk that I will use for my latte. That's 60 ml of milk. And this time, I'm sure that my ube mix is going to be pourable into my cup. Now it's time to assemble the drink. Into my decorated cup, I'm going to add 1 cup of ice. And I'm going to use my ube syrup, 2 pumps or 15 ml. If you don't have ube syrup, you can replace with plain sugar syrup. I'm going to add milk, half of the milk, and then I'm going to pour my ube mix over. And this is my classic ube latte. Definitely beautiful to look at. We're going to find out how it tastes like later. Let's go to the next drink. It is going to be ube coconut cream latte. Because it's coconut cream, I'm going to use coconut cream here. So it's the same procedure. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons or teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of my ube powder, 1, 2. All of these recipes can be adjusted depending on the powder that you are using. So I'm going to use the same amount of hot water, 2 ounces of hot water, 60 milliliters. Massage it and make sure that they are well combined. Okay, now this one is doing it better than the previous one. And because this becomes really thick, I'm going to add some of the milk in this mix. Okay, now add my milk into the mix, just to make sure that it is pourable and less paste-like. Now, if you don't have a matcha whisk, you can also most possibly use a milk frother or even use a blender to mix all these ingredients together. But this time, if you want to put up a good show in your matcha bar or in your cafe, you can also use the same procedure. But because in most cases, these drinks are very saleable, and so you might have to do this in large batches. All you have to do is to multiply the proportions that I'm using here. Okay, so there you go. I now have my ube mix there, which I'm going to pour on top. 15 ml of ube syrup. You can replace with plain sugar syrup if you don't have this. And then I'm going to add 30 ml of my coconut cream, 60 ml or 2 ounces of my fresh milk. Stir. Add ice. And the final touch to this one is our ube mix. This time I'm not putting a swirl around the sides of the cup, but making a layered drink for this ube coconut cream latte. 2 drinks down, ube coconut cream latte. Final drink, it is Ube Matcha Fusion. I'm going to use ube powder, matcha powder, milk, and this time I'm going to use sugar syrup to sweeten because I don't want one to overpower the other. So there has to be a balance between the ube and the matcha. I'm going to make it 3-layered. At the bottom layer will be the ube. So I'm going to use only 1 teaspoon of my ube powder. If the water is hot enough, your ube powder will dissolve much easier than if your water is room temperature or even warmer than 90 degrees. Okay, so now I have this, and this time I want this to be at the bottom layer, so I'm going to add my sugar syrup here, 15 ml or half an ounce of sugar syrup. Once again, combine. Now once you put the sugar syrup in here, this will become heavier, so it will naturally stay at the bottom of your cup. Okay, so this will be my top layer. And now for the matcha, I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of matcha. If you're using a tea scoop, 1 heaping scoop should be about 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3. Each of those tea scoops of matcha is about 1 gram. So sift. And this time I am also going to dissolve it in 30 ml of hot water. This time I'm using another whisk, one with less prongs. And with matcha, you whisk it up and down because it is thinner in texture than your ube powder. And with this, you can expect some microfoam. So this is the top layer. Now we are ready to assemble the drink. Ube mix at the bottom of your serving cup. Ice. 4 ounces of fresh milk. And finally, top it up with matcha. And there you go. What everybody is wondering, does ube and matcha work well together? What I would say is definitely in terms of the look, absolutely delightful to look at. I'm sure some of you are wishing they are here with me. So 3 deliciously looking drinks. Ube, sky's the limit. You can create a lot of good drinks with ube and mix it with matcha. We'll find out. Okay, so this is the classic ube latte with a little bit of a swirl to decorate the cup and the taste. Wow, that tastes like ube, 100%. Now, people in the Philippines will be able to relate to this. Mixing the syrup with the powder gives us a lot more texture. Now, I didn't put sweetened condensed milk in this drink. I think that it would probably taste even better if you use the milk syrup in this drink. But for this one, this is a light ube latte, perfectly delicious. Now, this is a combination of coconut cream with ube. As I have said earlier, coconut cream works well with ube. Think coconut cream or coconut ice cream, ube coconut ice cream, and this is what I'm expecting to get here. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. It tastes like ube pastillas. Delicious. And now, for those that are wondering, does ube work with matcha? Do they clash, or will one overpower the others? Or will one overpower the other? Now, what I've done here is to make a balance. So I've reduced the matcha that I would typically use for latte, and I also reduced the ube powder that I use for making plain ube latte. So making sure that there is a balance between the matcha and the ube. And I think that in this recipe, I have achieved that balance. I could taste the matcha. The ube is a little bit less probably because I used the powder. But if you use a syrup, which gives you a stronger taste of ube, there will probably be 3, 2, 1. There will probably be a better balance. But here, the taste of the matcha is a little bit more pronounced than the taste of the ube. Delicious nonetheless. Okay, so there you go, 3 delicious recipes that you can create with ube. If you have any questions at all about any of the recipes that I used here today and the process, do let me know in the comment below. I'll see you again for more of these recipes, video tutorials. In the meantime, stay safe, take care. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.